In the natural world, with all the fangs, talons, stingers, and tentacles, there are a million ways for prey to get got. But in the perpetual evolutionary arms race between predators and prey, sometimes hunters learn to go beyond their teeth and claws and start using tricks to snare their snacks.
What father hasn't said to his offspring, son? Build a better mousetrap and the world will be the pathway to your door.
Can unsuspecting prey stand a chance when predators learn to trap?
Traps? Why, there are literally millions of them. Far more wonderful and complex than anything man has ever thought of. Nature had it first.
Holy moly dandy!
Danger is near, beware, beware.
Hey, I'm Tasha the Amazon, and you're watching Animalogic's Second Nature. Today we're examining the world of predators who use traps to catch their prey. And who, I ask, is more iconic than the spider? Spider webs can not only make a bug's hemolymph run cold, but even us humans jump in terror when we walk face first into an unseen spider web. Speaking of spooky webs, it can be straight up dangerous to be on the web without any protection, which is why I use today's episode sponsor, Surfshark. I travel for work, and when I'm abroad, I use Surfshark to access banking and media websites without any geographical restrictions. Surfshark is an app and browser extension that allows you to safely connect to websites anywhere in the world with just one click. You can access content from lots of different countries. You can even watch Animalogic in countries where YouTube isn't available. It also protects your data when you connect to public Wi-Fi networks at airports or hotels, so there's no chance of getting your credit card info stolen when you buy things online. One of their features, Surfshark Alert, checks for breaches 24/7 and sends you real-time breach notices, so you can always feel protected. You can try Surfshark risk-free, as they have a 30-day money-back guarantee. Get an exclusive Surfshark VPN winter deal. Click on the link in the description and enter the promo code Animalogic to get an additional 6 months free. Thanks, Surfshark, for sponsoring a portion of this video. Now back to the show. When it comes to terrestrial predators, spiders are among the most successful. While most predators expend their energy during the hunt, web-building spiders use up most of their predatory power during the construction of their webs. This form of predation, however, comes with an evolutionary trade-off. Either a spider spends most of its energy building a more surefire trap that its prey can't escape, or it spends less energy to string together a less effective trap and must therefore be ready to jump in for the kill if the web fails. All of the roundabout 45,000 species of spiders produce silk, and about half of them build webs to catch their prey. There are, for example, the 3,000 members of the huge Theridaidae, or cobweb spider family, the most famous of which is the black widow spider. You've probably seen at least one species in your life, since cobweb spiders are one of the most common house-dwelling arthropods in the world.
The spider's construction is accomplished without any previous training and without any evident blueprint or pattern. She can spin a single strand, a heavy cable, or a broad band. Under her careful control, the silk may be elastic or non-elastic.
The over 4,000 species of orb weaver spiders create the intricately constructed spiral webs you see outside. Lots of orb weavers will add some extra flair to their web patterns with structures called stabilimenta, which are made of bright white, non-sticky silk. These designs at the center of the web have a few potential purposes, but the best theory researchers have is that these are like billboards for birds, warning them not to fly through and destroy the spider's hard work. But nothing comes without a price. The capture rate of spiders that use stabilimenta drops about 30%. Funnel weaver spiders of the Agilenidae family create a sheet-like web that is shaped like a funnel laying on its side. While the silk itself isn't sticky, the funnel is covered in a tangle of silks that entrap the legs of insects that may land on the funnel. These spiders are also incredibly fast and can sense the tiniest disturbance on their webs, charging out from their hideout in the narrow part of the funnel in an instant to ambush their prey with a venomous bite. Some funnel-weaving spiders are even parasocial, constructing huge communal webs and hunting and rearing their spiderlings together. As an arachnophobe, I can't imagine anything more chilling. While we don't know what caused spiders to start weaving webs in the first place, we do know that this ability likely evolved during the lower Jurassic period, between 187 and 201 million years ago. Thanks to new research that examined the genes of 300 different spider species, researchers believe that spiders are actually evolving away from web building in favor of more efficient methods of prey capture. One evolutionary reason may be that, while effective at catching prey, webs also advertise the presence of a tasty spider to predators. So essentially, spiders that didn't want to get gobbled up started evolving safer ways to snag their dinner. That brings us to the spider with the trap in its name, the trapdoor spider.
Each day we see doors of every kind, of every size and shape, but actually none of these is quite as remarkable as a door fashioned long before man ever dreamed of the device.
By stalking from below, this spider may have figured out the safest ever way to catch its prey. This spider is ahead of the curve. There are several different species of trapdoor spiders in different genera from all over the world. All trapdoor spiders dig holes in the ground and create a lid out of vegetation and soil, all bound together and hinged in place with silk. They'll then hide under this trapdoor to ambush prey that passes by. And trapdoor spiders evolved specifically to be able to build these underground holes.
The trapdoor spider is a skillful engineer that has never seen a drawing board or a transit. And when the need for building a home arises, excavation proceedings get underway.
Their chelicerae, the powerful appendages in the front of their mouths, are essentially built-in rakes that scrape the dirt during the digging process. The spider will then ball up the dirt and roll it out of the burrow with its strong back legs. But the spider doesn't stop there. Now it's time for some interior design. What's a murder hole without a little pizzazz? The trapdoor spider adds a layer of dirt and saliva for more stability, and finally a layer of silk which is spun in a single piece. Depending on the species, the door will be thick and beveled for a perfect fit, or thin and wafer-like. Some species even make a series of tunnels with multiple doors. But these burrows aren't just made to trap dinner. They're also used for shelter and as a place to raise their spiderlings.
She hangs onto the door with all her might. In order to break her hold, a pull of at least 140 times her weight is needed.
To hunt, the spider will hold the lid shut with its chelicerae and wait to feel the vibrations of passing prey. It'll then shoot out and grab the prey, pulling it back into the depths before the victim knows what's what. Even spiders that don't weave webs or dig burrows have found creative ways to trap their prey. A huntsman spider species, so named because they hunt down and inject their prey with venom, in northeastern Madagascar was found to have created a tree frog trap by gluing 2 leaves together and hiding inside this makeshift pocket. Since tree frogs seek shelter in the heat of the day, all these huntsmen had to do was wait inside for their special meal delivery. But it's not just spiders that use sticky strings to snag their snacks. The larvae of the glowworm genus Arachnocampa, native to Oceania, hang out in windless areas like caves or dense forests and produce up to 70 40-centimeter long strands of sticky mucus. Attracted to their glowing lights, insects like mosquitoes, midges, and moths will fly toward the worm and become entangled in their strands. All the larva has to do now is descend and eat its catch. The larvae of antlions, too, use methods akin to the trapdoor spider to capture their favorite prey. They'll dig a conical hole in the sand and bury themselves in the center. The slippery miniature cliff they've built is perfectly engineered to cause an avalanche as soon as it's stepped on by an ant. The ant falls into the center where it's immediately snapped up by the antlion's venomous mandibles. But it's not just creepy crawlies that use traps. Warm-blooded ocean predators also have a few tricks up their flippers. Dolphins, for example, use their environment to trap their fast-moving, fishy victims.
It's plain to see why saltwater fishermen hate to see porpoises appear. They can ruin fishing.
Working as a group, dolphins will herd a school of fish towards a sandbar and then beat their tails on the sea floor to stir up clouds of silt. Swimming in a coordinated circle around the cloud creates a ring of silt around the fish. When the fish try to jump out of this silty net, the dolphins are waiting with open mouths. In a similar tactic, humpback whales will create a bubble net to swallow whole schools of fish at once.
Ready, get your Holy moly dandy!
Several humpbacks will surround the school, blowing walls of bubbles to contain them in a small area. As the whales push the circle smaller and smaller, one individual will blast right through, engulfing the whole school in its large mouth. Orcas, too, create a unique moving trap to capture seals that have taken refuge on ice floes. The orcas will swim toward the ice floe in formation, generating a large wave that sweeps the seal back into the water. where they don't stand a chance against the orcas. Though fairly rare, birds too have been known to use their cunning to lay traps for their prey. A number of water-loving species engage in what is called bait fishing, though the green heron is most famous for this behavior. The green heron will place pieces of food into the water to attract fish, then promptly snap up whoever comes up for the promise of a free snack. These herons have even been seen shooing away other birds, like American coots, that want to snatch the pieces of bread for themselves. But it wouldn't be me if we didn't also talk about the beautiful carnivorous plants that also use traps to sustain themselves. Meat eating in the plant world usually evolves when they grow in nutrient-poor soils and need to find alternative ways to survive.
The bear trap doesn't know a bear from a piece of wood, but the Venus flytrap does.
The classic carnivorous plant is, of course, the Venus flytrap. Not only do their traps emulate the colors and appearance of a tasty bloom, they also emit a ripe and fruity odor that bugs can't resist. Once the prey lands on the trap and triggers at least 2 of the tiny hairs inside, within a couple seconds, the trap snaps shut, locking the prey inside. Once the trap is closed, the digestive juices start flowing to break down the prey and absorb its precious nutrients.
Now that action of the jaws snapping shut, it can take place in a 25th of a second, and yet the plant is completely devoid of muscle tissue. How does it happen? Someday we'll know.
Bladderworts are another carnivorous trapper that uses the water it lives in to suck up its unsuspecting prey, like a turbo vacuum. Above water, these plants look like pretty snapdragons, but below the surface, tiny sacs with hair-like triggers await passing creatures like zooplankton, water fleas, and mosquito larvae to trip the traps and be sucked inside.
Now, don't blink your eyes. You're liable to miss the catch. Did you see it? Well, I told you not to blink.
Like web-weaving spiders, some carnivorous plants rely on stickiness to entrap their prey. Sundews have 2 types of tentacles on their leaves. One which secretes sweet and sticky nectar that both attracts and then entraps the prey like a glue trap, and the other which contains digestive enzymes to break the prey down once it's caught. When an insect lands on a leaf, it will begin furling in on itself, further sticking the prey in place. Butterwort, too, uses the glue trap-like surface of its leaves to catch very small prey. Much like sundews, there are 2 different glands on the surface of the butterwort leaves, one for the sticky and one for the icky. The icky being the part where it liquefies its prey with digestive juices. Because it just kind of sits there and waits, butterworts are known as passive carnivorous plants, unlike the Venus flytrap and sundew, which are active. Finally, we can talk about one of the most effective passive trappers in the world, the pitcher plant. Full of digestive juices and equipped with ridiculously slippery sides that are impossible to climb, any prey that makes the mistake of perching on the edge will fall to their death.
The tiny hairs on the welcome mat suddenly become spears that surround a prison. When an insect topples in, a pool of death awaits below. The traps always eat what they catch.
It's arguably the simplest of all the traps we've discussed today, yet one of the most effective. And unlike building an intricate web, this one requires very little energy. Regardless of how they do it, trapping prey for a predator is always a lucrative way to snag a meal. And these predators are some of the most effective on the planet. So what should we talk about next? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every week. Bye!
Hearts are asleep in the deep, so beware, so